Hi there, I'm Scott Jones with the Edmonton Police Services, and happy to be here for this wellness session for the Tend Academy conference. So what we're going to do is a brief breathing exercise with a bit of the centering, followed by a very short, very gentle movement practice over the next 10 minutes. So I'm going to leave you with a couple of practical principles. One is going to be that we're going to do our best to breathe through our nose as much as we possibly can throughout our day, throughout our life. There's a whole bunch of scientific reasons why we're not going to get into that today, obviously for time constraints. The second of all is we're really going to focus on lengthening the exhale. So making, if the breath is 100%, making the exhale about 60% of that percentage. So it's a little bit longer than the inhale. And the reason for that is that's going to help us activate our parasympathetic system, so our rest and digest system, versus our sympathetic, which is our fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And then thirdly, I'm going to leave you with a physiological sigh, which is a tool we can use at any time during the day if we're having a stressful meeting or a stressful email or what have you, or just life is in that way. It's a quick tool, an easy way to kind of reset your system. So what I'd ask for you to do is just sit comfortably in a chair, feet flat on the floor. If the chair has wheels, just making sure you're very grounded into your feet. And eyes can be open or closed. If they're going to be open, just allowing your gaze to be soft, maybe looking down at your keyboard. And then just taking a long, slow, gentle inhale through your nose. And a long, slow exhale through your nose. And just letting yourself settle into your chair as much as possible right now. So first of all, let's bring our attention to our feet. And just using our feet to feel grounded and stable in our position here. And perhaps noticing our feet in our shoes, or in our socks, or on the floor. And just sensing the grounding into the floor, into the earth, into your mat, whatever you're sitting on or standing on. And then placing our awareness onto our breath. So just right now, before changing it or altering it, noticing your breath and noticing where you feel it. Do you feel it in your nose? Or in your chest? Or you're in your abdomen? And there's no judgment attached to any of that. It's just simply noticing with a curious mind. And we're going to just lengthen that inhale a little bit to a count of about 4, and the exhale to a count of about 5. So the timing would look something like inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And sometimes that numbering doesn't work and you can go by feel, and just noticing that you're taking just a little bit of a lower, slower, deeper inhale, followed by a longer, slower exhale. And sometimes we can find our shoulders starting to creep up, so just letting those, make sure they're relaxing back and down. And maintaining that 4 count in and 5 count out of breath. We're going to place our awareness just on our eyes, whether they're closed or open. And if they're closed, just noticing the not quite darkness behind your eyes. Noticing there's not really any boundary or edge to that vision. And placing our awareness on our brow, just above our eyes. Oftentimes we hold micro tension in there. So with each exhale, just allowing that part just to relax a little bit more and let go a little bit more. And moving our awareness to our ears. Maybe noticing any heat or cold or tingling to start, physical sensations of the exterior part of your ear. And then just starting to notice sounds around you, whether that's the sound of my voice, sound in your home or office. So noticing there's really no control over when that sound impinges on your eardrum, just being aware of it is and where it is. And let's bring our awareness back to our breath just to check in. Making sure we're maintaining about a 4 count in and about a 5 count out. Again, being very gentle with ourselves, especially if this is the first time we've practiced like this. And then placing our awareness on our jaw, making sure there's space between our back teeth so there's no tension in our jaw. And resting our tongue on the roof of our mouth, the tip of the tongue just behind the front teeth. Lips are closed. And moving our awareness to our neck and throat. And again, oftentimes we can hold tension in our neck, just being aware of those spots. And then moving our attention and awareness down to our shoulders. So again, that's another area that oftentimes we can hold tension and stress in. Just resolving with the next exhale to just let go a little bit more. Relax a little bit more, soften a little bit more. And maybe even sense the tension or strain if there is any in the inside of your shoulder. Placing your awareness and attention on the inside of your shoulders and just resolving to let that go. And bring our awareness to our heart space. So inside our chest, inside our torso, and perhaps we can sense our heartbeat. Maybe not. And either way, just looking at that with curiosity and compassion. And sensing the energy and aliveness that come from inside that area. Energy flowing through your body. Perhaps noticing a settling down of your system as you start to access your parasympathetic system. And bringing our attention and awareness back to our breath. We're just checking in and making sure we're still adhering to that 4 count in and 5 count out. And moving our attention to our hands. And again, sensing any heat or cold, or vibrating, or tension. And then seeking out the space in our hands, so the space between our fingers, the space between the joints, and just resolving to let go of any micro tension that's being held there. And moving our awareness attention to our back body, so our back against the chair, our seat, and legs against the chair, and just seeking a sense of grounding and stability in that posture. And returning once again to our breath, back to the 4 count in and 5 count out. And then allowing ourselves to relinquish and release any efforts, and just letting your breath come back to its normal rate. Just letting any sensations that arise show themselves. And again, just looking at them without judgment, just looking at them with curiosity. And the next inhale, and the next exhale, if your eyes are closed, just allowing your eyes to flutter open gently. You don't have to make any sudden movements. We can be very deliberate and calm with our next stage. We're just going to place our hands kind of up on the collarbone, they're crossed over, and just pressing down a little bit onto that upper chest plate. Pulling skin down just a little bit, and we're just going to do some very gentle neck movements. So we can start by just lifting our chin up towards the sky. And we find there's some pull on the front of the neck, and just exploring your edge, the boundary, and then tucking our chin down, chin back up, and then chin over to the right shoulder, and gaze can follow, back to center, over to the left shoulder, and back to center. And again, like we're going to lift our nose up to the ceiling, looking up, pausing briefly, and looking down, chin to chest. We can release those hands, just placing them on our lap. And then just almost like you're drawing a figure 8 or a circle with your nose, just starting to kind of put some organic movement into our neck. And being very gentle and compassionate with ourselves here. There's no urgency and there's no rush. Whatever feels best for you here. Whatever organically feels best to move. And coming to a neutral position and really concentrating. We often spend a lot of time looking down at devices, at a computer or a phone, and just tucking that chin back. And so we're sitting straight up. It's almost like we're being pulled from the top of our heads up to the ceiling. So sitting kind of tall in our chair, we're going to take our left hand onto our right knee. And we're just going to take that right arm all the way back in behind us to a gentle twist. Again, gaze can follow. You can even move your eyes far over to the right, so you're kind of stretching out your eye muscles. And back to center. This time that right hand is going to move over to that left knee. The left arm will go in behind. Gaze can follow. And doing whatever feels best for you in this moment. And back to center. We'll do that one more time. Right arm in behind. Gaze can follow. And back to center. And again with the left arm in behind. And back to center. We're going to put both our arms up straight up into the air. And we're just going to lean slightly, keeping our sit bones settled onto that chair. Again, grounding our feet, particularly if we have a chair with wheels in it. Grounding our feet, and we're just going to bend slightly over to the right. And let's direct our breath into that spot that's kind of squished. So really kind of focusing on the breath that we just did. Maybe you're returning to your 4 count in, 5 count out. Maybe just making sure it's a little bit longer inhale, longer exhale. Just kind of focusing on that scrunched up side. And back to center. And over to the left. And once again, just focusing the breath onto that scrunched inside. Perhaps feeling the stretch along your right side body. And back to center. We can lower our hands, just lifting our shoulders up, back and down a couple times. So almost like a shoulder rotation. So you can feel your shoulder blades pulling apart from each other and lifting up, and traveling back on your back body, coming together, and just making fairly large circles with your shoulders. After we've done 3 or 4 in that one direction, let's maybe reverse that. So now we're going to go the other way, whatever the other way is for you. Again, shoulder blades spread apart, traveling down, coming together, and just rotating the shoulders. And after we've done 4 or 5 rotations that way, we're going to just taking our hands, stretching them out forward, interlocking our fingers, and then up over top. And maybe a bit of an arch in our back, so we're kind of looking up perhaps. A little bit of an arch in our back, so kind of lifting our tail. And back down. And almost we're doing like a cat-cow in a seated position. So now we're arching our, tucking our chin, shoulder blades are spread apart, tucking our tail. And then again, back up, arms are back up. Arching our back, shining our chest forward towards that ceiling. And one more time, kind of quasi-cat position, tucking the chin, shoulder blades apart. And then one more time, back up. And back down. I'm just going to return back to sitting up tall. Again, eyes can be closed or open. We're going to do what's called a physiological sigh. So we can kind of use this technique, and we do it 2 or 3 times at a time. And it's a fairly strong inhale, followed by another inhale, and then a long exhale. So it'll be like almost like a we can inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, or if you're more comfortable through the mouth, that's fine too. So we can do it now together. Inhale, inhale, full exhale. Inhale, inhale, full exhale. And then just letting your breathing come back to its normal rate. And then just taking stock of how you feel right now. No judgment again. Just noticing how you feel physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And just from an awareness perspective and not from any judgment, as I said. And then taking this moment to show gratitude to yourself for taking these 10 or 15 minutes to look after yourself and taking this much needed time. and being compassionate with yourself and expressing that in this way. And I thank you so much for your time and attention, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your conference.